Over 200 political prisoners were among those released by the Burmese government in a prisoner amnesty on Wednesday. Rumours surrounding the long-awaited release left many waiting in anticipation, and crowds began gathering outside prisons around the country soon after the amnesty was announced on state television.
The amnesty is granted to 6,359 convicts from the respective prisons, in line with the aforementioned conditions, effective on the 12th of October 2011.
One of the biggest names to appear amongst those released was that of Zargana, a famous comedian imprisoned in 2008 after criticising the government's reaction to Cyclone Nargis, which killed almost 140,000 people in Burma's Irrawaddy Delta. Some Buddhist monks, a Shan State Army commander, and members of other ethnic armed groups were also amongst those released. News of the amnesty was met with elation by many. And the release was welcomed by Burmese pro-democracy leader Aung San Suu Kyi. As more prisoners started to emerge, emotions ran high as families were reunited. But for those who'd been released, their thoughts were still with those left behind. Despite the number of dissidents that were released, several hundred political prisoners still remain behind bars. Not on the list were many high-profile political prisoners, and as the day continued it became clear that the percentage of political prisoners was still low. Images of crowds of prisoners lining up for release were going out across the media, but amongst them there seemed to be few dissidents. Of the hundreds of women released throughout the country, only 14 female political prisoners were counted. Many activists, lawyers, monks and journalists remain in prison under bogus laws. And just a few weeks before the amnesty, video journalist Sithu Zaya, imprisoned in 2010 for filming a bomb blast in Rangoon, had his sentence extended by 10 years under the Electronic Transaction Act. The release of political prisoners has been a key demand of Western nations before they will consider lifting sanctions against the country, and is often held as the example of what it would take to show real change in Burma. But Wednesday's events show that may still be some way off.